The next part in the series, 8 traits of the disinformationalist. Avoidance. They never actually discuss issues head-on or provide constructive input, generally avoiding citation of references or credentials. Rather, they merely imply this, that and the other. Virtually everything about their presentation implies their authority and expert knowledge in the matter without any further justification for credibility. Selectivity. They tend to pick and choose opponents carefully, either applying the hit-and-run approach against mere commentators supportive of opponents, or focusing heavier attacks on key opponents who are known to directly address issues. Should a commentator become argumentative with any success, the focus will shift to include the commentator as well. Coincidental. They tend to surface suddenly and somewhat coincidentally with a new controversial topic, with no clear prior record of participation in general discussions in the particular public arena involved. They likewise tend to vanish once a topic is no longer of general concern. They were likely directed or elected to be there for a reason, and vanish with the reason. Teamwork. They tend to operate in self-congratulatory and complementary packs or teams. Of course, this can happen naturally in any public forum, but there will likely be an ongoing pattern of frequent exchanges of this sort where professionals are involved. Sometimes one of the players will infiltrate the opponent camp to become a source of straw man or other tactics designed to dilute opponent presentation strength. Anti-conspiratorial. They almost always have disdain for conspiracy theorists, and usually for those who in any way believe JFK was not killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Ask yourself why. If they hold such disdain for conspiracy theorists, do they focus on defending a single topic discussed in a NG, focusing on conspiracies? One might think they would either be trying to make fools of everyone on every topic, or simply ignore the group they hold in such disdain. Or one might more rightly conclude they have an ulterior motive for their actions in going out of their way to focus as they do. Artificial emotions. An odd kind of artificial emotionalism and an unusually thick skin, an ability to persevere and persist even in the face of overwhelming criticism and unacceptance. This likely stems from intelligence community training that no matter how condemning the evidence, deny everything and never become emotionally involved or reactive. The net result for a disinfo artist is that emotions can seem artificial. Most people, if responding in anger, for instance, will express their animosity throughout their rebuttal, but disinfo types usually have trouble maintaining the image and are hot and cold with respect to pretended emotions, and they're usually more calm or unemotional communication style. It's just a job, and they often seem unable to act their role in character, as well in a communications medium as they might be able in a real life face-to-face conversation or confrontation. You might have outright rage and indignation one moment, oh-hum the next, and more anger later, an emotional yo-yo. With respect to being thick-skinned, no amount of criticism will deter them from doing their job, and they will generally continue their old disinfo patterns without any adjustments to criticisms of how obvious it is that they play that game. Where a more rational individual who truly cares what others think might seek to improve their communication style, substance, and so forth, or simply give up. Inconsistent. There is also a tendency to make mistakes which betray their true self or motives. This may stem from not really knowing their topic, or it may be somewhat Freudian, so to speak, in that perhaps they really root for the side of truth deep within. I have noted that often they will simply cite contradictory information which neutralizes itself and the author. For instance, one such player claimed to be a Navy pilot, but blamed his poor communication skills, spelling and grammar, incoherent style, on having only a grade school education. I'm not aware of too many Navy pilots who don't have a college degree. Another claimed no knowledge of a particular topic/situation, but later claimed first-hand knowledge of it. Time constant. Recently discovered with respect to news groups is the response time factor. There are 3 ways this can be seen to work, especially when the government or other empowered player is involved in a cover-up operation. Any NG posting by a targeted proponent for truth can result in an immediate response. The government and other empowered players can afford to pay people to sit there and watch for an opportunity to do some damage. Since disinfo in a NG only works if the reader sees it, fast response is called for, or the visitor may be swayed towards truth. Well, have we not just seen that today? On Beyond the Imaginary Curve, where basically the channel Beyond the Imaginary Curve, Dell over there, spoke to a Celtic football player about this topic, about the shape of the earth and everything. And within hours, within a day or two, it was in the Sun newspaper and in a Scottish newspaper. Yeah? Putting in disinfo and stuff like that in it, and ridiculing and stuff like that, using these tactics. Yeah? It just shows you. People sat there watching. As soon as that come out, they put out a newspaper article about it straight away to try and, what they call it, you know what I mean? Try and sow disinfo and put people off and stuff like that. When dealing in more direct ways with a disinformationalist, such as email delay is called for. Such as email, delay is called for. There will usually be a minimum of 48 to 72 hour delay. This allows a sit-down team discussion on response strategy for best effect, and even enough time to get permission or instruction from a formal chain of command. In the NG example 1 above, it will often also be seen that bigger guns are drawn and fired after the same 48 to 72 hours delay. The team approach in play. This is especially true when the targeted truth seeker or their comments are considered more important with respect to potential to reveal truth. Thus, a serious truth sayer will be attacked twice for the same sin. And the next part will be how to spot a spy Cointelpro agent. Thank you.